Congratulations, lady. Back to you.
My God. Oh my God, lads. We have just witnessed hell has frozen over. We have just witnessed the Indiana Fever win the Commissioner's Cup. For the first time since June the 19th, 2022, the Indiana Fever have in fact won. They've won a game against a team above 500 without Caitlin Clark. For the first time since June the 19th, 2022, they have won a game without Caitlin Clark. They've won one without Caitlin Clark, which is crazy.
They told them it'd take years, told them rebuilds are slow, told them this isn't your season. Then they dropped the mic. The Indiana Fever just won the Commissioner's Cup, and they did it knocking off the powerhouse New York Liberty. You want WNBA drama? You want Cinderella energy? This, my friends, is the real deal. We're going 5 for 5 tonight, diving deep into how the Fever shattered expectations, shut up critics, and lit a blazing path for the rest of the league. This story isn't just about wins, it's about moments, about stars being born, about a league-defining moment. So buckle up. They said the Fever were too young, that Caitlin Clark was still learning the game at the pro level, that Aaliyah Boston, while dominant, didn't have enough around her yet. Then they faced off with the New York Liberty, a team stacked with Breanna Stewart's elite scoring, Sabrina Ionescu's crafty playmaking, Jonquel Jones's physical dominance. On paper, Liberty were the favorites. But this isn't paper. This is hardwood. This is night games, national TV, and that's when legends get made.
For the Indiana Fever, I got to give credit where credit's due. For me, there were 3 standout players for the Fever today. There were 3 standout, super standout players. One of them, I thought early on in the game, really helped them early. Really helped them early. And it's Ari McDonald. Regardless of plus minus, I think at the very start of the game, Ari McDonald was the player that really brought them into it at the start. 12 points, no one above 16 points. No one above 16. I thought she was fantastic. I thought in a lot of tough stages in the game, Ari McDonald really stepped up. Colson, I thought did a solid job. She hit a 3 early. She didn't turn the ball over ever. She got the ball past the halfway line. She was good at the end of the game, just shoring it up and making sure that they held out on that lead. Look, the Indiana Fever, they shot pretty well. Sophie was exceptional. I thought Aaliyah did really well in the fourth quarter. She was terrible through 3. She was great in the fourth. Kelsey Mitchell, her normal, I didn't think she did anything really, but she had 12 points. Sophie Cunningham was unbelievable. Sophie Cunningham was absolutely unbelievable.
Caitlin Clark stepped on the court like she'd been there before. Not a rookie, not nervous. She looked around, took it all in, and said, I got this. Aaliyah Boston, she was a fortress. They tried the paint, they tried the mid-range, they even tried physicality, but Boston swatted away every attempt at intimidation. This wasn't basketball. It was authority. You've seen the stat line, 26 points, 9 assists, 4 steals, 6 rebounds, logo threes off the high release, break chains, dimes, mid-range money, step-back triples, but this was more than strokes across the board. This was a declaration. She didn't play like she was making a debut. She played like she was taking a legacy. Some called her a college star who needed time. They said she'd hit a rookie wall, but fans showed up. She showed out. Here's the thing. She commanded opposing defenses. Think closing out on Sabrina. Think tying up Breanna. Think baiting passes and making them pay. That wasn't just strategy. That was instinct. Turnovers? A few, yes, but not mistakes. They were marks of trying something bigger, riskier, more impactful. And every time she pulled that trigger, logo deep, clock winding, it wasn't just a shot. It was a moment. And moments in big games, they become marks in history. Let's shift the spotlight. You can't win championships on offense alone. You got to protect the rim. You got to grab rebounds. You got to dominate the lane. That's where Aaliyah Boston showed up. 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks, altered shots, pulled down misses like magnets, positioned herself like a seasoned veteran, even at her age. Boston didn't just play defense, she instilled fear in the paint. This is why she's considered MVP in the making. Because dominance isn't one stat, it's every stat on both ends. She anchored that team. When Liberty tried to charge back, she stiff-armed them. When they threw bodies at Clark, Boston held down the paint.
If you came this far, please subscribe to the channel. Its new channel would need your support. Already subscribed. Thank you.
Guys, I'm gonna spray Sid.
Do it. Go. When she comes in?
No, she's right there. Should I hit her in the back? I blast her when she turns back in here. Everyone wait.
Yeah.
It might be a second. My hair look okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Looks great.
Let's not sugarcoat it. This wasn't a two-person show. Titles aren't won with only stars. They're won with depth, character, and culture. Nalissa Smith, 15 points, 8 rebounds, ran the floor, spaced the defense, found seams, finished in the paint. She wasn't just a forward, she was heart. Christy Wallace, lock screen defense, navigated switches like a chess master, forced misses with presence, created turnovers, hustle plays that don't show up on the stat sheet, but definitely show up in the game tape. Kelsey Mitchell, calm under fire, ice in her veins. When things tightened up, she drilled big shots to keep momentum. The bench gave life, tightened loose gaps, threw bodies into lanes, made the next man up mindset real. This was spirit in motion, not a stars only act, a full team synergy explosion. This is for the people of Indiana, the ones who stayed through rebuild seasons, through empty stands, through first round exits, the ones who believed, who chanted go Fever go, who filled the arena with noise, energy, and faith. Last night, they were the 12th player, no cliche. They effectively became the difference maker. When it got tight, crowd roars. When it got silent, they broke it. They made the environment unplayable. That moment when the final buzzer rang, they ripped off faces through elation, tears, signs held high, uncontained release. It was more than a win. It was a collective exhale, a moment of vindicated faith, a chapter of local history. Chepta lives, Chepta late for Locks D. Let's step back and see what this means for the WNBA. We're in a new era. More arenas sold out, more national broadcasts, more fan growth, more storylines emerging. Clark's rookie season sends tremors. Boston's beast mode defines the physicality possibilities. The supporting cast shows depth is suddenly everywhere. Liberty's dominance gets challenged, sparks new rivalries, feeds back into national interest. We're not talking about stardom versus stardom. We're talking emergence of super teams in the making. That's how legends and dynasties are built. We're in the turning point, but hold up. We can't skip the why. Why this team? Why now? Because they believed, because they had nothing.
All right, nice job. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Explode, New York.
To lose and everything to gain. Caitlin had doubters, so she played bigger. Aaliyah had expectations, so she answered louder. The rest, they thrived in the shadow of opportunity. Mindset became method. Pressure, fuel. Expectation, a source, not a threat. That right there is how champions are born. Now here's the real twist. This Commissioner's Cup trophy, it's nice. Congrats, Indiana. But this wasn't the main event. Nah, it's the trailblazer. Think of it like the first domino. Once it falls, everything else starts moving. This isn't a one-off spark. This is the ignition of a whole campaign. She's about to carry that fever into regular season, into playoff seeding, into national storylines, and guys with chips on their shoulder, they're gonna swing back hard. This shift is just starting, so what comes next? There's a best So what comes next? Clark versus Ionescu rematch. That rivalry just got real. Boston versus Stewart, paint battles. Fever versus Liberty, a playoff duel in the making. National viewership, expect a 20 to 30% bump. Fan engagement, merch, ducats, attention, hype, and expect storylines galore. Think trade rumors, think rivalry boasts, think split-second decisions making highlight reels, because this isn't just a cup, it's a momentum arrow pointing directly at the rest of the season. Let's wrap. Yes, wins are tangible. Cups hang on trees. But the true victory is the belief shift, the emotional link between players, city, and league. Clark's ascendance, Boston's dominance, the bench's heart, the crowd's electricity. That's the real defining moment. If you were watching, you didn't just witness a game, you witnessed the birth of an era. What you just watched wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a flash in the pan. It was a statement from a team that's been told no for too long, from a rookie who's already rewriting scripts, from a franchise that just flipped the WNBA on its head. This isn't the end of a Cinderella story. It's the first chapter of a dynasty in the making. So whether you're a day one believer or just now waking up, pay attention, because the Fever aren't knocking on the door anymore. They just kicked it down. If you felt that energy, hit that like button like it's a buzzer beater from the logo. Drop a live in the comments if you believe this is just the beginning. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because we're riding this wave all the way to the playoffs, and you do not want to miss a second. And tell us below, who's your pick to lift the WNBA championship trophy this year?